The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. And what do we have here? We got a little bounce, I guess. A little bounce started anyway. We were down to a low of 1890 on the S&P cash this morning, 2.5 billion shares, and certainly have volume now. There's no problem with that. We're pretty much down at the very lower end of the scale. I'll try to bring up a chart of what I've been showing in my newsletter, which is that when we look at options for expiration on Friday, we're pretty much down to the fairly bottom part of that. I thought maybe we're going to get a bounce to maybe 1950 or something like that over the next few days. We certainly have, I think, 7 or 10 IPOs still scheduled for this week. So at any time we could find the men of the street stepping in and goosing the market. And we'll talk about a couple of those stocks that were goosed pre-earnings, if I'm not mistaken. I think CSX was up fairly strongly today on a rumor that someone was trying to buy them. But more importantly, this is the week where you'll see random news articles by drive-by media people. And I won't call them reporters. But it is going to be the week where we're probably going to see a lot more volatility, and you're probably going to see a bunch of phony press releases and news disguised as news. And we'll talk about more about that. But, almost like The Godfather, basically Michael's talking to his brother and trying to remember what the guy's name, Tom something or other. He was talking to his brother Sonny and Tom, the lawyer, the consigliere, and he says, "Tom, we got people on the payroll down at the newspaper, don't we?" Yeah, cop wrapped up in the drugs, got what he got coming to him. They'd like that story, wouldn't they? That'd be a good story for him. Dirty cop got what he deserved. And there's always people on the payroll. In fact, I was reading over this weekend's history of the stock market, and it was right there. It popped right out in reminiscence of a stock operator. Also some writings from a few of the big chieftains like James Wyckoff and some of the other people that were the predecessors of price and volume trading back in the 1910, 1920, 1930 era. Nothing has appreciably changed. Kind of like a snowfall. Every snowfall is got snow in it, but sometimes the snow is heavy, sometimes the snow is light. But what has happened before will happen again. There is nothing new under the sun, dear Horatio. And we'll talk more about that as we go on. 1905 on the S&P cash. We're up 15 points off the bottom. I started covering some more positions today and raking in some ill-gotten cash. We'll take a look at a couple of those stocks and what I saw in them at the time. But we shall continue on and persevere. But my guess is we're getting ready to start seeing some techs loss selling. We'll probably see that throughout November. And probably maybe setting up a little bit of a Christmas rally. But right now, a lot of these stocks, especially the ones that have been hit the hardest, probably are going to get some bounces. And my guess is that the selling is just a little overdone for what they are going to report in a few of these. And that led me to take some cash off the table. Kind of like betting that a woman of 115 years old gets to 116 probably I was pretty long in these trades, and probably so maybe I get one more dollar out of them. Was it worth the risk? I almost felt like I was doubling up. Anyway, down around 1890 on the S&P cash. Started collecting some ill-gotten gains, and we'll get into that. But I digress, don't we? On this day in 1915, trading prices on the New York Stock Exchange, formerly quoted as a percentage of par value, much like bonds are still today, are changed over to increments of dollars and fractions. So if anybody ever wondered where that came from, that's where it was, and why bonds are still out there against the par value as being quoted. But in this day in 1915, and of course in the late, around 2000, 2001, we went to decimals. Just interesting. But on this day in 1915, of course, I talked a little bit, just briefly about it on Friday. Somebody was in the den and they were talking about that the Ebola is no big deal. And the answer is yes and no. The problem with all of these pandemics, going back to the beginning of recorded history, is that they tend to be small, and then something happens, and almost always it is something to do with a war or people traveling a great deal. And what happens is that basically in the big 1918 flu pandemic, kind of at the tail end of the First World War, a lot of people coming back. The flu really, they call it the Spanish flu because it really started there. But a lot of people coming in and out and around started to pick up a flu virus that they had no natural immunities to. Strangely enough, when you look at the amount of deaths in some of the Nordic countries, they were infinitesimal. And they didn't really stop how many people came in and out of their country. Now, they were infinitesimal in Japan, too, but Japan basically said no one in or out of this country until this thing goes away, and they basically became a true island for a couple of years. But it infected some 500 million people and killed probably 50 to 100 million of them. No one knows exactly, but a huge death rate here in the United States. And one of the biggest and deadliest natural disasters in human history. Probably why we find zombie movies so, I don't know, I wouldn't say cathartic, but that's the kind of word I'm kind of coming up with. And why zombie movies are so popular, and probably Dracula movies and a lot of that kind of stuff. There's always somebody with some kind of special powers or sickness, and we all have to run from them or risk being infected ourselves. And boy, what an episode of The Walking Dead last night. Boy, I'm not going to give you a spoiler. I'm just going to say what a great episode to come back with after the summer hiatus. But anyway, it is interesting, but it killed people on the Pacific Islands, in the Arctic. It killed people everywhere. Now, the question is whether or not Ebola could end up being this. The thing normally will be is that it will slightly mutate one day and will become some kind of big problematic killer, as the flu was. And maybe it's not Ebola, maybe it's something else. But all of these pandemics, especially when we look at just how many people have been affected already, people like nurses that basically were doing level 2 levels. And of course, I think just before this show started, the CDC doctor had to apologize for blaming the nurse for catching it down there in Dallas. He was kind of a knob and trying to make restitution for it today. But it takes a while to figure out exactly what goes on. But this is particularly worrisome. I looked at it a little bit more and thought maybe I was being a little alarmist, but maybe not enough. I think, especially interestingly enough, when you go back and look in the pandemic of 1918, was how much the wartime censors were minimizing the reports, especially the early reports, and how many people were dying. The press actually was forced not to report it in almost all the countries except Spain, and you can find fairly decent reporting where it actually started. But it's interesting. But just like the market, most of the time these things don't add up to a hill of beans. It is when that rogue wave comes that you have to look for it, and there's always outliers. And probably not a better model for outliers in the stock market than probably outliers for pandemics and things like the flu pandemic of 1918. They come like a thief in the night, and why there's no guarantee you're going to get one. It's the exact same thing when people go on YouTube and say, yeah, I'm going to make a viral video. Well, pretty tough to make a viral video. If you try to do it from the outset, it is problematic at the best. Most of these things are just spontaneous without any whim or reason, but the right mutation of a gene, and you can find these things move all over the world. So I'm continue to watch it. I'm not predicting here, but I am saying that the conditions are right for the people that are alarming us on this issue. If you didn't see it, you might want to look at some of the countries out there getting walloped, because this was the first one actually to get just shebanged over the summer in July. We brought this up several times. I brought it up with Tom O'Brien on his show. This is the chart of the Dubai stock market. If you want a link to it, I can send you a link to it to Bloomberg's website. Not as easy to find this one as most of the other ones out here. But this thing got walloped, and it was doing a little bit better. But down about 6% overnight, I think, in after hours trading, up another 2%, so down 4% still on the day. But we continue to see some huge volatility. When we go back and look at it, there are a few things that made me think that it would be very tough to be long this market over the last few months. And the Dubai stock market was one of those things that really made it problematic for me to think that we weren't going to have some kind of echo of that from the summer this fall. But I digress. Other things of interest. I'm just going to briefly talk about this because I get email on this from my Tech Insider newsletter. There are people basically saying that they can get energy from basically nothing. It's called ECAT. As far as I can tell, there's no evidence that it truly works, and no independent scientific study. We'll talk a little bit more about it when we come back, though.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Think or Swim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
Andy Hecht's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
It seems like every time these guys with ECAT get moving out there, I get some emails from people that read my newsletter asking about it, and maybe I ought to do a piece on it. But basically, this bunch over in Italy keep talking about it, a kind of a cold fusion way of making energy for people that don't spend a lot of time around scientific articles. Even if you take atoms all the way to absolute zero, they found out that they still kind of move around a little bit. And the idea is that if you can, that kind of energy is always there, and you can just suck it out of the atoms, and that would give you, a basically a way of getting energy from nothing. Of course, pretty much all the theory from Einstein says that won't work. These guys have put up a bunch of stuff, and they come out every 6 months or a year and ask for more cash for development of something that basically is a cold fusion device. At least that's what they're talking about. No evidence yet, but they'll always, like this weekend, put out yet another paper saying, we've had it independently looked at. Well, of course, the guy that independently looked at it is a great friend of the guy who's developing it. So not so independent. Also, people that actually designed it were in there putting in more fuel So you never know exactly what these guys did. You want a blind study where you can take it away to somebody else. The thing was plugged in. Do you know if they were just maybe fooling with the AC power coming into it? The whole idea is to test whether or not it generates more energy than you put in, and therefore, would be scalable. As long as you kept putting energy back into it, you got more out, kind of a nuclear reaction kind of thing. But anyway, no news here. But as the amazing Randy, who used to go run around basically saying psychics were full of it, long history since Houdini of magicians showing people how people kind of cheated them out of their money. But as Randy said it, if you want to find somebody that's fooling people, send in a magician. He'll know how they are basically doing it behind the curtain, and I don't see any evidence that will work, although there's some great articles out about nuclear fusion and some massive moves on that front, and also quantum physics. Over the weekend, I was reading some really neat papers that have been peer-reviewed and tested, and very interesting stuff. Quantum computing, a lot of stuff really starting to come along a lot faster than a lot of pundits had said that it would come. And I'm going to be writing about it in Friday's Tech Insider. But interesting stuff going on out there. Apple will have a big event on Thursday. It looks like they'll have the 12-inch iPad, and they'll have a new Macintosh. Maybe this new Macintosh will finally have a touch interface like Windows 8 did, but unknown at this time. Very few leaks about this going on. And, of course, they have to sell 4 iPads to equal 1 iPhone. And the question is, now that with the bigger iPads, is anybody really going to be interested in an 8-inch tablet from them? And the answer is probably no. And they're probably going to be looking at this new 12-inch tablet with a super high resolution and maybe even touch interfaces on the Mac finally. But we don't know. Maybe the Surface people at Microsoft can make fun of them for continued months about don't touch me there. That's a pretty active ad, or interesting ad. Of course, we've got huge amounts of earnings. CSX, of course, tomorrow, but a little bit preempted. We'll take a look at that chart in a minute, maybe after the bottom of the hour. But, of course, tomorrow, Citigroup, Johnson & Johnson, CSX, and Intel. I think CSX and Intel are after the bell. Citigroup and Johnson, I think Johnson & Johnson before the bell. On Wednesday, Dunkin' Brands, Travel, Zoo, American Express, Las Vegas Sands, Netflix, United Rentals. Thursday, Google, Capital One, and SanDisk. So we have a full week, and we'll probably have some fairly decent volatility out here, but continue to think we're probably going to drift maybe just a little higher into expiration on Friday, and I'll show that chart when we come back from the break, which we're about ready to go to. So anyway, see if there's anything else. Nope, just a mad market out there. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. We'll start looking at what options are telling us for expiration and why I'm starting to collect some dineros out of my short positions. We started on Friday and covered 4 more positions, 2 in the Tech Insider and 2 in the path of least resistance today for some decent coin. We'll be back in a minute.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're going to go to phone calls because we got them. Donnie in Lake City, Utah.
Yeah, I'm looking for GLOG, and I just found another interesting one.
Is it GLOG or GLOB?
GLOG. GLOG.
Maybe
Goldman Sachs IPO.
Okay. There we go. Gas log. Yeah, we talked about it on Friday, I think, or Thursday last week.
Oh,
yeah.
How low can we go? 9?
Yeah. What's that? $9
we're going to go to, or how low?
It's unknown at this time. I actually kind of like what these guys do. I mean, I think it's a great business, especially with inexpensive natural gas out here. But, you busted through on Friday, so there's not a lot to do. But I mean, yeah, you got that $12 range that's now open down here. You're into the huge volume day, and maybe you go down and test the bottom of that from the 16th of January.
Okay. What about STM then?
So, let's just stick with this one for a minute, and then we'll look at STM.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, this one on the low would be, $16.51.
Right.
So, this probably wouldn't be, I think you're probably looking pretty good on this. I don't like the way this thing came down on energy from September 19th down to what we've seen today. But, maybe this thing hangs out around just over 16 and a half or $17 and goes sideways for a little while, consolidates. You might have a buy here. I think that they are in the right space and doing the right thing, especially if Putin pulls the plug on Europe for natural gas. You can see all these ships these guys have. Do they have ships yet?
I heard they have like 3 ships they were building, yes.
I think they've got some on the water already. I'm going to have to go back and look at these guys again tonight. But they basically make liquefied petroleum tankers to really start moving the stuff around. And why it's expensive to move it around, probably could sell it for that price over in Europe right now, coming winter. So I don't see that there's a big problem with that. I think even with the premium of liquefying it to get it over to Europe and get it into some of those Baltic ports, I think especially the way Putin's using it as a weapon, I think it'd probably be in a pretty good one. But I think you're probably pretty close to support. I just don't think it's going to do a V bottom here and just take off. So you may need to watch it for a month or 6 weeks or something. But keep an eye on that. I do like the stock. And what was the other one, STM? Yes.
Will that go down to $3 or who knows?
Well, it certainly broke its back. But what do we have for volume on Friday here? 2.7 million shares. So you're through the previous low on lighter volume. Through that April 19th low, this thing could get back into the trading range of if it closes above 711 and volume never increases, not too bad. Ideally, if you wanted to trade this, though, I would think that some of these gaps down below are going to get tested at $5.50. But I don't think there's any trade right here. But if it closed back above 711, you could go long the thing. And if it continues down, you'd want to buy it probably at that second gap, which is about $5.25. Should have some fairly decent support there. If the market is just horrid, of course, you're probably going to get down to 450.
Don't you think we will gap up tomorrow morning with all the good earnings from those great banks of ours?
Gap would probably be an over. There's a lot of people who want to get back out. I think you're going to be up 10 points and then back 5, and then up 10 points and back 5, and by the end of the week we're higher. There's a lot of people. Yeah, I think we're going to just kind of ratchet up here or stumble up, kind of like a drunk headed one way. Yeah, he's going to get there, but he's going to go left and right and pull in, go to the bathroom on the wall, and then head on back up. I think we're going to stumble up through Friday, but that's... What's that?
In 2009, the same thing happened. We had a great day, Columbus Day, the day after we gapped up, and the day after we went back down until Election Day.
Yeah, I think you could stumble up. I think because we've got expiration and it really looks like they're going to try to kick at the last of the IPOs this week. I'm thinking that they're going to try to hold this market up, and there's going to be a lot of happy talk probably through the end of the week, and then probably look for the next leg down next week.
Are you guys looking to IPO too? You should. A good time to, no?
That's up to Tom. Yeah. I just do a radio show. I'm just
Tom's the king of making money, man. You can count me in on his IPO.
Okay.
Why not?
Well, thanks a lot. We're going to go to Mike in Thailand if he's still there.
I'm here, Dave. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. So you're calling about cold fusion.
That's right. Can you tell me again? I didn't fully catch what you said about that, and I just wanted to hear. You said something about the ECAT, and
yeah, there were more phony press. Well, I'm going to call them phony press releases out over the weekend, and every time these things come out, basically turning lead into gold kind of press releases. Everybody that subscribes to my newsletter, not everybody, but I get new subscribers all the time, and they don't look at past issues, and they'll say, "Yeah, what's this whole thing about an ECAT? Can you really get energy from nothing?" La 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 la. And of course, The idea is that there's movement in atoms.
Okay, Dave, let me stop you there. Let me just tell you this about cold fusion. I've been into this for years now, okay? And anyway, I just attended the 18th conference on cold fusion last year at the University of Missouri, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, what you don't know, are you still with me, Dave?
Unfortunately, I think.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Unfortunately, okay. I can't blame you for being a skeptic on one hand, but you haven't read about what's really happening. With cold fusion.
Well, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong on that point. I think that there's something there. I think these guys with the ECAT are a bunch of phonies. So there's two different.
Do you know them? Do you know them?
No, but I've read some fairly extensive. They're a bunch of flakes. They are total flakes. Everything I read about them is says that they're total flakes. Now, did someone stumble upon something, an anomaly out there? I think so.
Can I say something? Can I get a word in here,
sure.
Dave? Okay. How about the United States Navy? Are they a bunch of flakes?
I don't think so.
Okay, they've verified cold fusion, and they've verified certain aspects. Now let me just tell you about that.
Now you're getting to the point. There's something there. These guys haven't found any of it.
Dave, you got to let me finish, okay? I have a pile.
Go ahead.
Are you going to let me finish, or are you just going to laugh?
I don't know. I'm waiting to see what you have to say.
All right, let me finish, and then you can laugh, okay?
Okay.
Now, what's happening is you've got the U.S. Navy involved in this, okay? Now, apparently, you don't know that, right? Now, why would...
No, I've read all the stuff on it. Like I said, it comes around all the time. We've got time here, so don't get excited. I'm not going to hang up on you. I'm just saying that these guys over in Italy, every time they come out with another press release, and no one can ever see it, no one can look at it, they're always involved in every test. Those are the hallmarks of looking for a fraud. I'm not saying that I can guarantee it because, of course, they only let their best buddies take a look at it. They never let them look at what happens behind the curtain. There's always, when you see those things, those are the hallmarks of giant frauds. Now,
you got to let me finish. You got to let me finish because
I am going to let you finish, but it's my show here, so I'm going to take the helm for a second. The hallmarks of great and the biggest frauds is an element of truth. So is there something going on back in cold fusion? I think that there is enough evidence to say that there's an anomaly. Do these guys in Italy know what it is? I don't think that there's a chance they do. I think it's a giant fraud, but go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to email you. There's just some news that just came out on the development, and the guy's name who developed the ECAT, his name is Andrea Rossi, okay?
I'm very familiar with it.
Okay, I knew his mentor, Sergio Focardi. I met him in Italy. I met him at the 8th International Conference on Cold Fusion in the year 2000, okay? And what's going on is you have the whole Dean of Bologna who got in.
I'm sorry, you just can't write this stuff. The King of Bologna? Bologna?
I said the dean of the University of Bologna.
Okay, I heard it a little differently. Go ahead.
Dave, let me cut it short. If you're interested, I have a pile of documentation here. If you want to laugh and make an idiot of yourself, that's up to you. Or if you want me to show you this documentation, I think you'll be pretty interested, okay?
I've looked in it because, again, I get a great deal of many people that always say, well, what is this for my newsletter? Is there anything to this? I said, at the present time, there is not. There may be a great discovery. But there was always some theory.
Why did 60 Minutes verify it then?
I doubt if 60 Minutes verified it. I think they probably got fooled like a lot of people. And like I said, if we sent a magician over there for these guys, we'd figure out how they were doing the big trick. Now, is there something else one day going to be discovered on it? I think so. There's something there. These guys, like I said, there's got to be an element of truth in every big con. And I think that these guys have found it, and someday somebody's actually going to do some real science. Maybe it's the Navy, somebody else that's going to come out. But I don't think it's these two guys in Italy that won't let anybody see what they do or tell anybody and say it's all patented and hidden. Every time I find somebody that does that, it just smacks of the big con. And I don't think there's anything more to be gained by us beating up or me laughing at it. But to me, it's so evident that these guys are hucksters, that it is, and I've been sucked into these kind of things before.
Dave, most people who come out with a lot of these claims, most of them are hucksters. You're right about that, okay? But why would the chief science writer, to go back by the name of Dr. Eugene Malov for MIT, why would he come out and say it's true and verify it? Okay.
These guys haven't verified it. They haven't been able to take his machine without him and his buddies and his cronies around, not hooked up to his power supply. In fact, I read
they have.
No, they haven't. This is just one more thing. He'll say that they do, and then you go and dig in there and you find out that he hasn't. So I can say that I've had everybody verify it, and then you go back and dig in the details and find out that he hasn't. There's a scientific principle, and part of it is not having the people that invented it standing there next to it. And that's what has happened every single time with these guys. They're always there. Now, I think the best idea so far is what these guys are doing is probably using instead of AC where they plug this thing in, they're probably got a huge DC power supply on the other side or something, and everybody just thinks and assuming.
Well, how can you make a judgment, Dave, if you don't know anything about it?
Well, one, I do know something about it.
I can tell you, and if you're interested, okay.
I've already read about it. It's not like you make it sound like there's nothing going on. Anyway, we're going to get back to the stock market. I appreciate the phone call. Anyway, we're going to go on. Anyway, the thing is that people have believed all kinds of things. Saccharin was going to kill you. All the scientists believed it. In fact, there's probably 100 times that scientists all agreed on stuff, and they were all brought in. There's been, like I said, and one of the reasons I put that slide up, that probably the easiest people in the world to fool are scientists. So, what can you say? I didn't think it was going to turn into a giant battle, but I don't think that there's anything there that they've found. I think this is in the early days, but they've always got their hands out, and no one can play with their machine without them around, even other scientists. And the people that are supposed to be wonderfully independent are the guy's best friend. So every time you find out about something like that, it just it's nice. Now, I'll be glad to be proven wrong if they find some way of turning out energy from nothing, but my guess is that's not any day soon. The problem is it's like, anything else. Anyway, we looked at a couple of stocks. Wanted to talk about CSX. Boy, did this show go fast. Nice pop out here on CSX. Earnings in the morning, I think. Let's check on that. But it's given a little bit back from this morning. But I think they ran a lot of shorts in the stock. And like I said, watch out for those articles out of left field that may or may not be truthful. Be back in a minute.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss. better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And I'm still showing CSX in the morning for earnings, so should be good. Had a question to look at Tesla out here, they got down to 221 out here, kind of finishing up the ABC down on this stock from 291. Pretty nice move. I was hoping to get up in 270 to 275, maybe in this gap, so I never got a hold of it. And of course, it was actually fairly high. I wanted to get a little bit of less short interest on it, but that was problematic to be the best. I don't know. We're pretty much into this sign of strength that happened on the 16th of June with 13.2 million shares. We're into it with 9.3. So the question is just how much farther are we going to go? But probably in some temporary support on this thing. And again, a lot of short interest. This is probably one of these stocks, like a lot of these others that have super high short interest, that you might get especially when we go into December. If these things can hang up here, you get into light volume, maybe the 15th of December, and watch the shorts kind of exit stage left, you might get back up into these higher areas and get at least some of that high short interest out of these stocks, and you might be able to take yet another swing at them. We talked about taking some money off the table, and let's go through those charts while I have some time. We covered Hum. Basically, I was short this stock at 134 in the daily newsletter. We got out of it here. It got into this high volume down day from the 30th of July. And kind of going a little bit sideways out here, but we got a good $9 out of it. But kind of interesting out here. The volume actually picked up. Didn't look as good as a trade as we started, but not a bad trade out here. IYI, we bought puts on. And this was another one that we took some cash on. I like this trade a little bit better. It worked out for us fairly well. And this is the pattern that I've been trading so many of these moves here lately. I needed to get some volume in this thing, so I didn't. So we went ahead and took the cash on this. But we bought puts on this one. In fact, we bought let's take a quick look at these. We bought the November 2014 puts on this at $4 or better, and it's printing about 770. But I think we should have been. Most of my readers should have been getting out of this one at about probably $7 and change. So $4 to $7 and plus more, probably a pretty good trade out here. Some of the other ones out here that what else am I looking at here? I got a minute to get out. WDC. We've hit this one a couple of times for some good cash. And this one I was kind of late getting into. I wanted to short at 103 and missed it. We shorted it again on this little spike on the 19th of September at $98. And I covered it out here today. This thing's down in the low $88, so we got about $10 out of that one. And is that everything? I think that was that 4 stocks. There was one more that I covered out here today. Oh, EDU. This one was a little less exciting, but we did cover this one out here. We were short at 24. I like the setup out here. But taking a little cash off the table again, I think we're going to get kind of a bounce into Friday, next Monday, Tuesday. We're going to add some more to the short term. But ring in the register at least a little bit, and we can try to take another swing at these things probably Monday or Tuesday next week. We'll see you tomorrow, same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.